Imagine if you walked into a room in a negotiation, in a meeting, and you had total control of not just the room, but the people in the room. Imagine if no amount of stress or bad news could upset you. Imagine if you not only had absolute crystal clear clarity on how you're going to achieve your business, but you also had certainty that you're going to achieve it. All that and more in today's video. Stay tuned. Hey guys, my name's Yahya, founder and creator of Record Breaker, where I help you smash past your money records in the shortest amount of time by unleashing the power of your mind. And in today's video, we're talking about the number one tool, the number one skill that's going to make you better than 98% of the population. And that skill, boys and girls, is self-efficacy. Now, in my humble opinion, I wouldn't just call it a business tool. I think it's a life skill. And I think it would allow you to do outlandishly, disproportionately better than 98% of people. But let's get into the definition of what it means. According to psychologist Dr. Albert Bandura, in his social cognitive theory, it is the belief of one's capabilities to organize and execute the course of actions in prospective situations. And these beliefs determine how people think, feel, and behave. Self-efficacy does not only determine how you feel about yourself, but also the possibility of how quickly and whether or not you will achieve your goals in life. It determines the level of the goals you select for yourself, it determines the level of commitment you show towards those goals, and it determines the probability of the outcome of success in your goals. As Dr. Bandura demonstrates, it impacts everything from psychological states to stress management to feelings and behavior. Now let me give you examples of what high levels of self-efficacy would look like in an entrepreneur. These people would have a deeper sense of interest in the activities they perform. These people would also have a higher sense of commitment towards those activities and goals. They would recover quickly from setbacks and challenges, and their perception of challenges is just something that needs to be overcome. Whereas on the other side, people with low levels of self-efficacy would firstly avoid difficult tasks, secondly assume that difficult tasks and challenges are beyond their set of capabilities, they would quickly lose faith in their abilities to perform said tasks, and they would focus more on personal failings and negative outcomes. Essentially, what this means is a person with a high sense of self-efficacy is more goal-oriented, more optimistic about achieving, and focuses more on the positive and the wins. Whereas a person with low self-efficacy focuses more on the possibility of the outcome, strengthened and backed by the belief or the lack of belief in their ability to obtain the outcome, and so determines the probability of the outcome as being relatively low. Almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But now that you know what self-efficacy is, let me explain to you how your levels of self-efficacy have been formed. This is something that starts in childhood, but as Dr. Bandura explains, it continues to form and evolve and grow throughout your adolescence, throughout life. And the four main areas that self-efficacy is formed are: first, mastery of experiences. Every time you master a skill, do well in something, or get recognition or an award or gain any level of mastery in an experience, it strengthens and reinforces your belief, not just in that particular skill, but in you overall. So the more skills, experiences, things that you master or become relatively good at, the higher your self-efficacy goes. The second method is social modeling. When you see other people who are similar to you or people in similar situations such as yourself do well by working hard, achieving their goals, it reinforces your sense of self-efficacy because you can relate to them, and if they can succeed, this makes you think that you can too. The third way is social persuasion. When a friend, a well-wisher, a colleague, a mentor gives you positive feedback, says, hey, you did a good job, you did well, that strengthens your sense of self-efficacy as well. So positive feedback from people who you think are important makes you go higher on the ladder of self-efficacy. And the fourth factor is your psychological response to situations. Moods, emotional states, physical responses, stress levels, hormone output, all of these determine not just what you're going to react to, but how you're going to react. Two people can react to the same stimulus in a very different way. One person might completely disregard it, ignore it as something that doesn't need to be worried about, whereas the other person can spend sleepless nights worrying and fretting about the same situation. So same stimulus, different reactions. Those are the four things that constitute whatever level of self-efficacy you have right now. Now that you know what constitutes them, let's look at examples of what an entrepreneur with a strong sense of self-efficacy would look like. This could be someone who's struggling right now in their business. Maybe it's you struggling right now in your business, but you're certain that by working hard and following the plan, you will succeed. Another example could be somebody who's been appointed in a C-level position in a company or a business, and they've never done that level of work or that type of work before, but their sense of self-efficacy determines and makes them think that they're a good learner, they're a fast learner, they will learn and they will succeed. It could also mean someone who's starting out and they're very confident that they're going to learn what needs to be learned, they're going to apply what needs to be applied, and they're going to be successful. These are all examples of entrepreneurs with high levels of self-efficacy. Now let's look at examples of low levels. This could look like someone who started a business, ran into a couple of problems, decided it wasn't for them, gave up and went home. Very low belief in their ability to succeed. Another example could be someone who knows exactly what needs to be done to grow their business, but refuses to set goals or deadlines or even targets for themselves. And even if they do, they refuse to commit, they refuse to follow through, they refuse to execute on those targets because they have low levels of belief in themselves and in their ability to meet those targets. So now that you have examples of what high and low levels of self-efficacy looks like, let me give you a self-assessment test right now to determine what your levels of self-efficacy are. Answer the following questions. Do you feel like your problems will go away with hard work? Are you confident in your ability to achieve your goals? Do you feel like you can manage unexpected events that come up well? Are you able to bounce back fairly quickly after stressful events? Do you feel like you can come up with solutions to problems you face very quickly? Do you keep trying even when things get difficult? Are you able to handle your stress well? Or do you tend to get overwhelmed by everything that you need to do? And finally, do you believe that your hard work is going to pay off? If you answered yes to a majority of these questions, you probably have a relatively high sense of self-efficacy. If you answer no, you probably have a relatively low sense of self-efficacy, but here's the good news. I'm going to share with you 4 ways that you can build your own sense of self-efficacy right now. This is something I give my clients, I do myself, and I'm going to share that with you right now. So the first way, and the single most effective way to instantly build a very strong sense of efficacy, is to celebrate your wins. It doesn't matter if the win is huge or tiny. It doesn't matter if the win has a low monetary value or a high monetary value. It doesn't matter if the win was bound to happen anyway or if it was unexpected. Doesn't matter. What matters is the neurochemistry and the neurochemical response you experience when you celebrate wins and you get in the habit of celebrating wins. What this does is it makes you focus on the positive outcomes in your business until you start doing it by default. So you become a happier person by default, and you become a more confident person who gets used to winning because you're used to celebrating. So you, on a subconscious level, also get used to winning. The second way is by observing and modeling other people in similar situations. So when you see other people who are in the same boat as you and you can relate to them and you see them do well by working hard and succeeding. So I'll often see entrepreneurs questioning why someone else is doing well and they're not. Use that to fuel you. Use that as positive reinforcement instead of feeling bad. Remember, in the beginning, we talked about how different people react and respond to the same stimuli. So a person with a high level of self-efficacy will see someone else succeed and feel good about themselves. A person with a low sense of self-efficacy will see someone else succeed and feel bad about themselves. You want to be the former, you want to avoid being the latter. The third way is to look for positive reinforcement. Avoid the naysayers. The naysayers, the people who don't believe in you, the people who are criticizing you, avoid them like the plague. Surround yourself with people who mean well for you and who are encouraging you. These could be friends, these could be people in your network, these could be mentors or coaches you've hired. You need people in your corner. You need cheerleaders for yourself, and you need people patting you on the back and telling you you did a good job. that reinforces your own sense of self-efficacy as well. And the last way is to be mindful of your thoughts and your feelings. If you are struggling to do well in difficult situations, if you get stressed out, if you are losing sleep, that's messing you up. That's going to mess up your business. You need to fix it right now. So if you have trouble controlling your thoughts, you need to develop some sort of meditation practice. First thing in the morning, 5-10 minutes. Last thing before going to bed, 5-10 minutes. That's all you need. It's something I get all my clients to do. You need to be able to see your thoughts. You need to understand that you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are just tools for you to use. A lot of people don't even know the difference between where they are and their thoughts are. They think their thoughts are them. They're not. Just a tool. So learn to observe your thoughts. Learn to decide which thought you want to indulge in and which thought you don't, because your thoughts will determine your behavior. Second thing, learn emotional resilience. Learn to manage your emotions. Learn to regulate your emotions. Just like thoughts, emotions are also tools. They're not who you are. They're something you use to achieve. That's it. There's nothing more to that. Most people who do not have emotional regulation are open to manipulation. So pick up a way to ground yourself and bring your emotions back to basic. My recommendation would be heart-mind coherence. It's 5 minutes. I get some of my clients to do it. Works wonderfully, works beautifully. I suggest you start there. And with that said, boys and girls, that is the end of the video. Leave a comment down below and tell me what way you're going to be using to improve your levels of self-efficacy. I'm also going to link a video right here where you can see someone who's practicing a very high level of self-efficacy and doing very well in life. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.